Okay, this is on arithmetic sequences and series. First, the term sequences will be where there's a sequence of numbers and they will be separated by commas. Okay. The term series, when you see that, there will be numbers, but they will be separated by plus signs or minus signs. Sequences are separated by commas. Series have the plus or minus signs in between the terms. Okay, and some authors won't call it arithmetic sequences. They will call it arithmetic progressions. Okay, and notice how I'm pronouncing that. It's not arithmetic sequences, it's arithmetic sequences and series. Okay, as an example, say I give you the sequence 5, 9, 13, 17, and then show 3 dots to show that that continues on. Okay, you study the pattern, and if you look at that, what do you notice? Yeah, they differ by each term. They differ by 4. When you figure that, you actually take the second number minus the first number. You take the third number minus the second number. Okay, and the fourth number minus the third number. And this is what they call the common difference. Okay, this is the common difference. But you always do it in that order. You take the second term minus the first term. Okay, and do it in that order. Figure out what the common difference is. Okay. Then they will give you different types of problems. On this one, let's say they ask you to find a sub 10, and that's actually saying find the 10th term. Well, there's a formula for that. This is the formula. A sub n, okay, put it as a subscript. Okay, a sub n equals a plus n minus 1 times d. And the author does not put the d in parentheses, but I would, because if the d is negative, if you don't have the parentheses, it looks like a minus, and you really want to multiply it. Okay. The a sub n stands for the nth term, or the last term, the nth term or the last term in your sequence. The A stands for the first term in your sequence. The N stands for the number of terms. And the D, we already said the D is the common difference. Now, in this formula, you can solve for any of those variables. Okay, but on this one, they're asking us to find a sub 10. So what they really want to know is what's the 10th term. Now, I could, and this has happened before, I could, on this one, just, how do you get from one term to the next term? I could just add 4, add 4, add 4. Okay? And I've actually had people sit there in class on the test and just, on the calculator. Okay? But if I said find the 1000th term, okay, are you going to sit there? You're going to lose count. Okay? So you want to be able to use the formula. Okay, so find the 10th term. So a sub 10 equals RA, first term, is 5. Now the n, you actually get this by looking at this. It's a sub n, so our n is 10. And the common difference we said was 4. Okay, and then it's a matter of order of operations. Okay, order of operations, you got to simplify. Okay, so you simplify inside the parentheses, you get 9. Then you got to do the 9 times 4. Okay, and then the last thing you do is the add. So the 10th term would be 41. Okay, any questions on that example? Okay. So this, you need to highlight this formula. This is one, and you need to write that down. That is the formula for finding any part of an arithmetic sequence. Okay, that's the main formula. Okay, let's look at another example. Let's number this. Let's put this number 1. Number 2, find the specified term of each arithmetic sequence. Okay, and let's say they give you the sequence 25, 33, 41, and they want to know, put 3 dots, they want to know what is the 9th term. Again, if it's arithmetic, it's going to have a common difference. Okay, and you could, like I said, to get from one term to the next term, you're going to add. Okay, but if I said find the 5,000th term, okay, you don't want to do the addition, you want to do the formula. Okay, so write the formula down. A sub n equals A plus n minus 1, that quantity, times D. Okay, we want to find the 9th term. We want to find A sub 9. The A is 25, that's our first term. The n comes from this. Okay, so we know the n is 9. What is the common difference? 8. Then you go 41 minus 33. You always take this term minus the previous term. Take this term minus the previous term. Okay, so the common difference of 8. Okay, write the formula down, both sides of the formula, sub n, and then simplify. Order of operations, you got to simplify inside the parentheses first. Remember the PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Yeah. And this will be 8 times 8. Then you got to do the multiplication. And then do the addition. Okay, and I end up with 89. Okay. Okay. Any questions on example 2? Okay. 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 Okay, now they're going to change it up a little bit, because you can solve for any of those variables. Okay? Say they ask you to find the position n of the term in each. Now, the author's being real nice in this section. The author's telling you that it's arithmetic. In the next section, we'll do geometric, and then they'll start leaving it out. You will have to decide. The way you know it's arithmetic is if it has a common difference. Okay? Okay, here's the sequence. 18, 24, 30, leave 3 dots to show that you left out terms, and then 96. And they want you to find out the position in, like, is 96 the 20th term, the 15th term, the 19th term, what is it? Okay? Okay, what is the common difference? 6, right? 24 minus 18, 30 minus 24, so you know the common difference. Okay, write the formula down. This, every time you write it, that helps you memorize that formula, because you're going to have several that you need to memorize. A sub n equals A plus n minus 1 times D. And I would put that D in parentheses. So A sub n is the nth term or the last term. So that is our last term. We know the last term. We know the first term. What we don't know is n. And we know the common difference is 6. Okay? And now you solve. Okay, so you're going to have to distribute. You got to distribute this. Common error is people forget to multiply it times both of them. Okay, so you'd have 96 equals 18 plus 6n minus 6. You got to pay attention to the signs. Combine terms on the left side. or excuse me, on the right side, combine like terms. The 18 minus 6 would be 12 plus 6n. Okay, and then subtract 12 on both sides. Okay, and we'd get what, 84 equals 6n, and divide by 6. Now, let's stop and think for a minute. If I get n as a fraction or a mixed number or a decimal, is that possible? No. Okay, so if it doesn't come out to an integer, okay, positive integer, something's wrong. Okay, so on this one, if you divide that out, you're going to get 14, right? It's a 14th term. Okay, but if I got like 13.7 or something, that's not possible because it's first term, second term, third term. It's got to be a positive integer. Okay. Okay, those are a couple examples on there. Okay, the next part, the author defines arithmetic means. Arithmetic means. Okay. Okay, that's probably a new term. Arithmetic means are terms between any two non-consecutive terms between any two non-consecutive terms of an arithmetic, and you can abbreviate it if you want to, arithmetic sequence. Terms between any two non-consecutive terms of an arithmetic sequence. Okay? Number 4. Yeah. Okay, another example. Say they ask you to find 3 arithmetic means, and you can abbreviate it. Find 3 arithmetic means between 18 and 54. Okay. Now, here's how I work this problem. I start with 18. They're asking me to find 3, so I leave 3 blanks. Okay, and they're all separated by commas, and then so I want to know what are the 3 numbers in between there that make that an arithmetic sequence. Okay, same formula. Okay, so a sub n equals a plus n minus 1 times d. Okay. Okay, so our a sub n is this last term. A sub n is the nth term or the last term. So I know this is 54. Okay. The a is the first term. Okay, I know this is 18. How many terms do I have? 5, right? 5. Because as soon as I put 54 in there for a sub n, that's a sub 5. So I have 5 terms, so you got to count them all, not just the spaces. What I don't know this time is d. Okay, so I'd have 54 equals 18. Simplify inside would be 4d. Subtract 18 on both sides. Okay, and you'd end up with 36 equals 4d. And divide by 4 on both sides. And d equals 9. Okay. Now, that's not the answer. Now you got to come back. To get from one term to the next term, once you know that common difference, you just add. Okay, so if we add 18 and 9, 27. 27 and 9, 36 and 9, 45 and 9. And if you don't end up at this, if you do, you know you've got the right answer. If you don't end up at that, then you know something's wrong. So these are called the arithmetic means, and they chose 3 of them. They will always give you 2 numbers, and I always put the number of blanks there because that helps me figure out the number of terms. Okay. Any questions on that one? Okay, that whole part, this section's on arithmetic sequences and series. Okay, you need a little separator. Everything we've done so far has been sequences. Okay, now we're going to do arithmetic series. Okay, there are two formulas for arithmetic series. First, there's a key word here, series. The word series means summation. Okay, so you're always going to be working with sums. Arithmetic series. Okay, so instead of a sub n, the formula is going to change to an s. S sub n, S for sum. S sub n equals, one of them is n over 2 times the quantity a plus a sub n. Now, this is the formula you use if you know the first term, because the first term is a sub n, and if you know the last term, or the a and the a sub n, first term and last term, you use that one. Okay, if you don't know the first term and last one, then you use this one. S sub n equals n over 2, okay, times the quantity, 2a plus, use a different grouping symbol, n minus 1 times d. Now, where did they get that one? All they do is they take the formula that we use up here for a sub n, they take this and they sub back in to here, and you would get this formula. Okay, so this is the formula if you don't know the last term. Okay, so you need to know and be able to use both these formulas. Okay, so write them down as you're working the problems. Okay. Okay, examples. Say they ask you to find the sum. There's your key word. Okay, that you're using a series formula. Don't let your eyes skip over that word. Find the sum of the first 15 terms of the arithmetic series. Okay, there's another key word that it's telling you. Okay, and here's their series. Now, series are separated by plus or minus sign. So on this one, here's their series. 11 plus 5 minus 1 minus 7 minus, and then dot dot dot. Now, you could, on this one, actually take time to figure out what all 15 terms are and then add them up. Okay? But if I gave you 100 terms, you don't want to do it that way. You want to know the formula. Okay? So, looking at that, do I know the last term? No. Okay? So that puts me into this formula. Okay? If they gave me the last term over here, that would put me into the first formula. Okay, but they don't, so then I'm in this one. Okay, so write the formula down. S sub n equals n over 2 times the quantity, 2a plus n minus 1, and if you want to put parentheses around the d, that's fine. Okay, okay. Sum of the first 15 terms, so that they're telling you it's S sub 15. There are 15 terms. Okay. The A is what? First term, which is 11, right? So we have 2 times 11 plus the n, 15 terms. Now, common difference. You always take the second term minus the first term in that order. Okay, you would take the third term minus the second term in that order. Okay, you take the next one minus the, okay, in that order. So you get the common difference. You have to be careful how you do that so you get the right, so it's not, so you're not getting positive 6, it's negative 6 is the common difference. Okay, so now this is where here, if I don't put that d in parentheses, look at what it looks like. Okay, it looks like subtraction. So put it in parentheses. Okay. Okay, now do not mess with that fraction till the very end. Okay, leave that 15 halves out there. Okay, simplify this would be 22 plus this would be 14 times a negative 6. Okay, and we're still doing order of operations. Leave that 15 halves out there. Okay, and this would be 22. Now you multiply, that would be a negative. Okay, when you take 14 times 6, okay, it'd be negative 84. Okay. Okay, still simplify, leave that 15 halves out front. Okay, and then you simplify inside, you get what, negative 62? Agree with that? Okay, and that's actually like over 1. Okay, now here's where you can reduce. Okay, your fractions, you're multiplying, so reduce. 2 would go into 2 once. 2 goes in here a negative 31 times. Okay, and then you can do your multiplication. So you multiply 15 times a negative 31, and you should get a negative 465. And that's the sum of the first 15 terms of that arithmetic series. Okay? Okay. Okay. In your book for a minute, I want you to look at number 36. And this is on page 764. I want to look at a couple of these in the book if we have time. Page 764, number 36. It says, what is the 12th term of the sequence? Okay, the sequence is 5 minus I, and then 6, and then 7 plus I, and then ... Okay, if you need to, if you need to separate them, here's one, here's another one, or put parentheses around them if you need to. There are 3 terms there. You have to look at these carefully to see where are the commas, so that you don't think 5's a term and negative I is a term. 5 minus I is the first term. Okay. First, you have to decide if it's arithmetic. Okay. To decide if it's arithmetic, you take the second term minus the first term. Now, look up here for a minute. When you take that second term minus the first term, it's like this. Put it in parentheses. You got to distribute that sign. Okay. So we'd have 6 minus 5 plus I. So you'd have 1 plus I. Okay, and then take the third one and subtract the second one. So you'd have 1 plus I. So there's your common, this is the common difference. Okay, that's your D. Okay, they want you to find the 12th term. Okay, so it's not the sum formulas. It's back to A sub n equals A plus n minus 1 times D. 12th term, so A sub 12. First term is the 5 minus I. N is 12. Common difference we figured was 1 plus I, and that needs to be in parentheses. Okay, so you'd have A sub 12 equals 5 minus I. Simplify inside, we get 11 times 1 plus I. So you got to distribute, you got to multiply this 11 out. Okay, so you'd have A sub 12 equals 5 minus I, and then this would be plus 11 plus 11I. Now you got to combine like terms. Okay, I know you did this in Algebra 2, combining the like terms with the I values. So the reals 5 plus 11, you got to look at the signs in front. So 5 plus 11 would be 16. You got a negative 1I plus 11i, be 10i. Okay? And that's as far as you can go. Okay? You can't simplify that down anymore. So the 12th term would be 16 plus 10i. Okay, so don't let the I values scare you off. Okay? You still work with those. Okay? I want to get started. We'll probably just get started on this, but I want to look at 46. Okay? Go to 46. We'll at least get it set up. Okay? I want to go through it as an example. On 46, it says find n for a series for which a sub 1 is a negative 7, first term. When they're giving you a sub 1, that's the same as a. That is the first term. D, the common difference, is 1.5. S sub n is a negative 14. Okay? This is a clue which formula you have to use. Did they give you the last term? No. So that forces you into the second sum formula. S sub n equals n over 2, okay, times the quantity, okay, 2a plus n minus 1 times d, okay. Okay. They told us what S sub n is. It's a negative 14, so sub n right below. And what we're figuring on this, find n. We don't know n. So that's n over 2. Just leave it that way. And 2 times a negative 7. You need parentheses or brackets or something around that. Okay, n we don't know. Common difference they gave us was 1.5. Okay, everybody okay with the sub and n? Okay, now simplify. I'm going to inside. Okay, simplify, that'd be negative 14. And if you multiply this out, your steps might be different than mine. Okay, now I can get rid of that fraction real easy by doing what? Multiply by 2 on both sides. If you multiply by 2, you guys, it just multiplies this by 2 and multiplies this by 2. So this would go to a negative 28. When you multiply this by 2, those just divide out. You still have n. And if we combined, we'd have 1.5n and minus 15.5. Right? Like that. Okay, you can distribute this. So we'd be at a negative 28 equals 1.5n squared minus 15.5n. Get it in standard form equal to 0. If I add 28, I get 0 equals 1.5n squared minus 15.5n plus 28 if I bring that over. Now, I would not want to work it with that decimal. I could multiply by 10, but what else could I multiply by? 2. It'd be a lot easier if you multiply this by 2. Multiply both sides by 2. So we still have 0 equals. And you're down to 3n squared, because you got to distribute that. 3n squared, okay, minus 31n, okay, plus 56. Okay? And then that's a quadratic. Okay, you can do factoring, you can graph it, you can see where it crosses the x-axis, you can do quadratic formula. Can n be a fraction? No, because it's a number of terms. First term, second term, third term. So you're going to look for the one that comes out to a nice positive integer. Okay? But it is factorable. Okay? On this one, n actually ends up to be 8. Okay? The other one is a fraction, you'd reject it. Okay? Okay, that should be enough examples to get you started. I purposely assigned a lot of the odds, so as you go through those, check your answers in the back of the book. Okay? And if you have questions, then you know to ask. Okay? Yep.